I bet you're wondering, why the F is there a picture of whack-a-mole on this guy's crypto thumbnail today? Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you're trying to buy any one of the 4 coins that are on that thumbnail as well, then you could potentially get absolutely destroyed by the game of whack-a-mole. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what whack-a-mole has to do with crypto and why you need to pay very close attention to what I'm going to say, because it could leave you much poorer than when you started. Hit the like button and let's get into it. Now guys, before we go in and look at one of these juicy charts, we have something very important to discuss. What on earth is whack-a-mole and how does it work? Well guys, depending where you're from in the world, I don't know whether you've seen this game before or not. Simply, you have a bunch of mechanical moles popping up, you stand there with a hammer, basically trying to smack these moles as they pop up. What does this have to do with these crypto charts right now, you ask? Well, look at all of these crypto charts, and I'm not picking on any particular cryptos. I know people get very upset and butthurt that I take their crypto girlfriend's name in vain occasionally, but all of these coins, we've got Hello Token top left, we've got Solana top right, we've got Caspa bottom right, INJ bottom left. What do all of these coins have in common? Nothing, apart from what you see in front of you, because they are all very different. They all have very different things going for them. They're all completely different sizes. They don't really have much relation in why they're pumping, apart from they're all pumping because Bitcoin's pumping right now. And also, we've started to see Bitcoin dominance taking a little bit of a tumble while Bitcoin still remains high. So why am I bringing these 4 coins up in the same breath of air? Because lots of people are like, well, this coin's superior to that coin and this coin's going to do a minimum of 150x in the next bull market. No, it's nothing to do with that. It's all to do with the fact that all of these coins have pumped very, very aggressively in the last kind of week or so. And yes, some of these coins have been pumping for longer than that. But in the last sort of week, since we've seen Bitcoin have another move, we've had Hello Token doing around 100%, INJ up 158%, which is ludicrous. Solana up nearly 90%, 100% pretty much. And Casper up also around 27%. So what? Well, in my free Telegram, which is linked down below, would love to have you over there. And also over on Twitter, where every day I've been releasing breakdowns of tokens like Render, Today XRP, Mana Decentraland, Rollbit, and lots of others. So make sure you give me a follow over there. All of these coins are starting to trend. They're trending across YouTube. They're trending everywhere else. Why are they trending? I hear you cry. Well, because everyone in crypto who's new to crypto does the exact same thing. We open up a picture like this and we see that INJ has been pumping hard, Solana's been pumping hard, and a variety of others have been pumping hard. So what do we all do? We all then rush and flock and try and find out information about those coins that are pumping hard. Now do you start to see the whack-a-mole reference? We've now just spotted the mole starting to come up. We're primed and ready to strike. And sometimes these charts can come up as fast as the mole. And that's what's so tricky, because a little bit of us gets a bit of a pump on when that mole comes out of its hole. And then we're completely focused on the mole. We don't look at all the other holes out there. We're focused on the mole in his hole. The problem with whack-a-mole, if you've ever tried to play the game, is by the time the mole has come up there and you've reacted in time to try and hit the mole's already gone away. Is this starting to make sense? Hopefully. And what you'll end up doing, if you get easily frustrated and you don't have particularly good hand-eye coordination, is you'll start to strike various different random holes. Grow up, guys. Still talking about whack-a-mole. Okay, so what does this have to do with crypto? Well, simply put, when we sort of start to notice these coins, typically it's kind of a bit too late. Why do we start to notice these coins? Well, for a variety of different reasons. One, people who are providing you with crypto content and stuff on YouTube will know that everyone suddenly starts to pay attention to the coins that are pumping. So what they do is they go and create a video about that makes them dive in and want to know more about that particular project. So what they'll do is they'll make videos telling you that it will 50x, it's 100x, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. And you're bought into the concept because you're like, well, that sounds really good. It's already pumped really hard, so there's probably a good chance that it's going to continue pumping towards the upside. Of course, not only that, if I look into the telegrams and all the other chats, you will see everyone else being like, wow, guys, I'm actually making an absolute killing because I put myself down a few $100 into Hello Token and today I woke up and I am that much richer. Little do you know, although you should know because you will do this the same as everyone else does, is no one really shares when they've had a massive loss. When was the last time you went into a Telegram group and someone was like, oh, I'm really heavily down in that coin that I bought last week on a whim? They'll only ever tell you the ones they've bought and the ones they're in money on. Therefore, everyone else starts to think, well, I am missing out because that person's been making a killing on Hello, that guy's made loads of money in Casper, that guy's made loads of money in XRP. No, I'm kidding about the last one. No one really made much money in XRP, let's be honest. All jokes aside, effectively, this is what the problem is. Unfortunately, much like the mole, after a crypto pumps towards the upside, the higher the chance of the mole disappearing towards the downside. Whoa, and why does this happen? Well, I'm going to use Solana for this example. Lots of people get invested in crypto kind of lower down, particularly with these larger market cap coins such as Solana. People would have potentially been putting millions and millions of dollars into Solana when it was down at this level in here. Now, whilst if you've put in $100 and your $100 is now worth, let's say $469, then you might be like, well, it's still not going to have a life-changing impact on me. I'm just going to hold on. I want to hold forever, blah, blah, blah. And that's absolutely fine. And there is a good potential that you're going to see big growth continuing for Solana. We are still very early in the crypto market. So all of these coins I'm talking about today are very worthwhile looking into, but I just want to address a big problem that people have. Now, after these big pumps, we'll tend to run into zones where you might well see a sell-off. Now, how can we identify a zone that we might see some form of a sell-off coming? Well, if you look at Solana, when Solana was coming down, it went back into this area and then it sold off very hard. Now, as I tell you in the past about buy zones, sell zones also exist. This area here in the red I have shown you is a sell zone. You can even see it happening slightly earlier on after we had a big dip, break back in, push down, okay? Then we come back in, we confirm it is a sell zone 3 times. Guess what happens? The other day, it comes up and it spends about 15, maybe even less, minutes in this sell zone before it suddenly gets sold off. Now, admittedly, it's only come down from that point. At one point, it came down 17%. Now, that's 17%. That's not a massive amount of money, but you need to be very cautious because if you've got $1,000 and you suddenly dive into a coin like this, all in, and it comes back down on you 17% and you're new to crypto, you're going to be like, geez, I've just jumped into a coin, the very first one I've ever bought, and I'm down $170. Maybe crypto isn't for me. So what do? You cash out, and now you've got $830 in the bank. And I know this video might sound a little familiar to you, but it's so important. But you've probably forgotten about this recently, haven't you? And that's why you've been a degen, and you've been out there trying to chase the pumps like some happy-go-lucky like mole beater. And I want to use Casper as an example for this. I've given Casper a bit of a hard time because throughout this year it's been performing extremely strongly. And now I made a video on Casper when it was around here saying it would likely have a pullback and potentially have a pullback down to a buy zone down here or a buy zone down here. Now, as you can see, after I made that video, it pulled back something like 19%. And I got a lot of abuse for it because it didn't actually reach this line down here, which was about another 2% harder or 13% harder. But it was very interesting that during this period of time through here, once these initial pumps had basically played out, no one then was asking how to go and buy Casper and where to buy Casper from. Suddenly, Casper has a breakout up here, and then everyone wants to go and find out where to buy Casper from. Why the hell wouldn't you buy down here if you want to buy up here? If you want to buy up there, then you should have bought down here. If you didn't want to buy down here, why would you buy up here? That's like saying, I don't want to buy an iPhone for $100, and then the iPhone goes up to $300 and being like, take my money right now. Now, another thing I want to point out is all those coins that I've talked about today, INJ, Casper, Solana, and there are tons of these guys, Hello One, that have all had a phenomenal run recently. And Casper's been way more impressive than all the others recently. I did say that I was expecting a bigger pullback. I didn't get it. So there we are. I hope that's made peace with all of the Casper people out there who got upset that my video said that it was going to pull back 33% and it only pulled back 22%. Please forgive me. But the point of all these coins being extremely different is that they are all pumping, right? Remember, the chances of something that's already had a good pump towards the upside pumping is much lower than a coin who is not yet pumped towards the upside, which will completely mess with your psychology. Because our brains, unfortunately, are programmed to spot patterns. Therefore, when something's going up, we anticipate that it will carry on going up. And when something's going down, we will anticipate that it carries on going down. which is why we just tend to make stupid decisions, and why when Casper has a good pullback like this, no one wants to buy it, but everyone wants to buy it when it's doing this, and no one wants to buy it, everyone wants to buy it, no one wants to buy it, everyone wants to buy it. We just do the opposite, then we'll actually probably be alright, won't we? So if we can't anticipate because of what that project does, what exactly is going to be pumping next, we then have to look at the chances and the probability of what's going on. Now, the chances are the coins that people have made lots of profit in, people will start to take money out, theoretically, therefore pumps will always come to an end after a certain point. Where they come to an end, particularly with a coin like Casper that is currently in discovery mode, is a little more challenging. Effectively, what we can do is we can use this swing high to this swing low using a Fibonacci tool, and then typically the 1.618, the golden ratio, is the number that we might see in terms of the next push up. Very, very rarely in the past have I seen a coin go all the way in price discovery to the 2.618 without any form of a pullback. Now, before everyone jumps in and says, oh, he's talking about pullbacks in Casper again, what you really are looking for is a push to maybe this level if it goes extremely fast and hard, and then some form of a pullback. Now, whether it pulls back to the level it's at now, undecided. Whether it pulls back to something up here, who knows, okay? But effectively, you don't want to be diving into massive candle pumps. Why? Because as I've mentioned, there's a good chance after a big pump on any coin that you'll get some form of a pullback. So what do? Well, be glad for the other people around you who caught that pump towards the upside, and then go and look for something else that's in a better position to see a good pump afterwards. Now, the other day in my Inner Circle Discord, link down below, I said that I was getting out of Solana around $44. Ideally, I would have got out of it up here, but I was a bit slow to react. I got out at 44, it pulled back. Now, I did go and buy into some other different coins, and lots of people would have been like, oh, well, you're really stupid if Solana keeps on going towards the upside. The only people who are stupid in this market, guys, are people who don't take money off the table and go and have that condor moment, that calm moment where you can go and make a new decision. Is it the right time to be in Solana? Am I going to wait for a pullback? Or is there just another coin out there? There's so many crypto coins out there. Do not get married to any one or any 5 different coins out there. There's so much going on all the time, so many coins that you've probably never even heard of that you need to just go and take a look at. Because right now, Games for a Living is down today like 3.6%. It could well get a bit more of a decent pullback, and then maybe if it gets back to this buy zone, then Games for a Living is a good one to be paying attention to. If anything, I want to be paying attention to the coins that are in the red today. In the morning when I've woken up and I've seen the gains that I've made and the coins that I've got that are up, and I've decided whether or not I want to take profits in some of them or not. Well, after I've finished patting myself on the back for what a legend of trading I am, I then go and look at the coins that are in the red today that are potentially getting back towards buy zones. If they're potentially getting towards buy zone, then maybe I might get involved. This is a good example here. You can see Games for a Living had a good pump, pulled back, repressed again, and then it came down to this very obvious buy zone that we can see through here. How is it an obvious buy zone? It pumps up, it creates this pull back here, pumps again, it resurfaces into that buy zone, and then it rips out of it. That's an opportunity that you want to be getting involved in. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about pullbacks, okay? 18, 21%. It's not really that much, but it's going to make a lot of difference to your discipline and your ability to not FOMO into something. Because one of these days, you're going to do this, and you're going to pull the trigger on one of these. This was Matic on the 18th of May, 2021. A little bit of a story time we know we all enjoy. And you can see it pumped all the way up to $2.66. And momentarily, I'm sure that a lot of people who had seen it pump from this point all the way up around 676% and were probably loading up their bags, telling themselves that they were about to get rich, buying, looking at their Rolexes, looking at the Lamborghinis, preparing themselves, suddenly wake up the next morning and find themselves down a whopping 61%. If they continue to hold, they would then eventually have been down around 72%. If this was the first coin that you got into, and let's say you had $1,000 and you were down 72%, oh, guess what, guys? You now only have $280 left. And then you're like, well, it's okay because I'll find another coin that's going to do like a 50x or 100x. And then what do? Well, you cash out down here, right? Because you're a broken person, okay? Then what happens? Suddenly it starts to pull back and you're like, oh, I can make my money back. But you don't really realize you can make your money back until about here. You buy in and then this happens to you. And then you'd guess you're probably down from your $280, you're down another like 37 to 40%. And this happens so often. And right now, you've got the very best opportunity to be making yourself a quick and easy, like a couple of X, 3Xs, 4Xs. So we really want to be doing, guys. It's a long ass bull market. Do not end up on the rocks before you've even got out of the harbor. I don't even know if that's a saying, but it sounds pretty good. Right now, your job is to preserve capital and maybe have a little chance to grow. Here's a very simple pattern, which I talked about in a recent chart, Man and Decentraland, looking fairly solid, okay? It's got its buy zone down here in the green area. People were like, what's a buy zone? How do I identify that? Look, you want to find an area we had a bit of a pump, push back into an area where it suddenly rallies out of it. This is clearly a buy zone. Next time it gets back in here, you can see the reaction that it shows. You then have this downtrend in conjunction with this buy zone. It breaks beyond the downtrend, but notice it's yet to kind of have a good push towards the upside. Other coins have had a more aggressive push towards the upside. I would anticipate from here, Man Decentraland could see a push about 90%, could see 167%. It's not massive, okay, but if you got $1,000 right now, compared with being down to like $280 because you bought those massive big green candles, you could potentially double your money and a bit more, okay? You could leave if you go up 167% with $2,670. You've now got $2,670 to start to put into a variety of different coins. Doesn't that sound good? Effectively, you're building yourself up to a position where you can be more aggressive on the market rather than having to fight for your life because you basically lost all of it in the early stages. So simply put, guys, you need to be patient, stop being greedy, stop trying to chase those big pumps. And if other people make big pumps and you didn't on that day, there's always going to be another coin and another day tomorrow. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, one other thing that's starting to really cheese me off is people talking about using Coinbase. Now, I get it. A lot of you guys live in the United States, and there's obviously some very stringent rules that are coming in with regards to exchanges and things you can use. But luckily, I've got a solution for you, and it comes in the form of a NordVPN. Now, before you click off this video, this is a very important piece of kit that everyone trading in cryptocurrency should use. And not just because if you buy it, I might be able to afford a few cups of coffee, but because genuinely it's going to absolutely transform your life within crypto. And how's it going to do that? Well, this you can see is the NordVPN here. I can say whether I'm in the United States, I can select the UK, I can select Australia, I could do whatever I want. And then theoretically, I can appear in any country, any time of the day. Then what I can do is come across to MEXC, which is linked down below in the description, where you can see I can get 0 spot maker taker fees, 0% futures maker fees. That means I can trade cryptocurrencies from one to the other for absolutely nothing. And if I want, I can trade it back to USDT, and then I can send it USDT TRC20, and I can send it for like $1 anywhere else in the world. No problem whatsoever, rather than paying like $10 for a trade on Coinbase, which is absolutely ridiculous. Not just saving you money, but NordVPN is also an essential thing. It will protect you from spyware and malware, people who effectively can watch what you're doing on your screen when you're typing in your passwords, when you're using different exchanges, when you're using your wallets and things like that. And if you are trading any sort of sums of money at all in cryptocurrency, it's essential that you protect yourself with a virtual private network. NordVPN, I believe, is the best VPN available in the world. It's used by pretty much more people than anything else. And if you go through that link down below, you will get 4 months extra free, as well as a 30-day money-back guarantee. No brainer, guys. Pretty much try it for free. It's going to change your world when you come to cryptocurrency. And anything you're struggling to use because of the country you live in right now, with a VPN, there is no more restrictions that you have to worry about. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video today. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel and you are yet to do it, subscribe. See you in the next one.